Hi, I'm April, and today's story on the short is inspired by someone who just told me a very interesting job he had once. So please enjoy Grave, a Digger's Tale. Today's presentation on the short is Grave, a Digger's Tale. There is no grave digging 101. It's more a learn as you go kind of job. It seems straightforward enough at first glance. Dig a hole, deposit a coffin, fill the hole with dirt. End of story, right? That's what I'm thinking as I pick up a shovel on the east side of Morgan Meadows Cemetery. But before getting so fully, so backbreakingly involved in the task, I ask about using a backhoe. Figure that must be how it's done these days. It'd sure be easier, I tell my less than social supervisor. Easier? J. David Eston spits his words and glares at me as if I'd just insulted his mama. A man's final resting place shouldn't be dug by no machine. Men bury men. Ain't a job for nothing else. Up to this point, I'd thought the term gravedigger was both job title and full job description. Didn't figure on there being any rules. Digging graves ain't exactly my dream job, but 2 counts of robbery doesn't do much for the old resume. So digging holes is ideal for a guy like me, with a strong back, 0 college degrees, and no sense of superstition. I don't worry about ghosts, ghouls, or voodoo spells creeping in to zombify our clientele. No, it's the living you gotta watch out for. The upright, walking and breathing folks are the ones who'll stab you in the back, rat you out, or take a quick plea for community service in a doggone cemetery so they can get to their fancy lawyer's lunch when their client didn't hurt nobody, just drove the doggone getaway car. The thing is, we all end up here, boxed up and set deep in the earth. The living keep dying, keep filling these holes, keep me busy digging. Maybe justice has a sense of humor. Some mornings, before we get started, I look out over the stillness of the yard, stone and concrete headstones sticking up like tabs indexing the dead. It's right that I'm here, seeing what happens after life. All I can do is think about what I did, the mistakes I made, how someone's going to be digging one of these for me someday. Despite the peace and quiet, despite the sweet bird songs, and especially despite what J. David said, it ain't no resting place. It's a dumping ground. I discard human leftovers. Proves to me there's no such thing as disposal with dignity. Any way you slice it, we all end up chucked in a hole, rotting away 6 feet under. But if you believe the Bible like my daddy did, men and earth are connected, have been since the beginning. God formed man from dirt, and we've had to work the land ever since just to survive. We tend it, crack it, curse it, plant and harvest, and that same earth always claims us in the end, like it's waiting for us all our lives. I watch J. David sometimes. Hard not to, the way he whispers while he digs. I don't know if he's talking to himself, the dirt, or the plot's future resident. Don't want to know. I figure he's been working among the dead way too long, and I plan on finding a better gig before this soil strips away my social skills too. In the meantime, side by side we dig in the September sun, feeding the earth our sweat, grunting with every thrust of a shovel descending into the earth. There's a rhythm to this work. Dig thrust, dig thrust, dig thrust, which makes it easy not to talk. Another J. David rule. No conversation, or music, or smokes. Not inside the hole, at least. I guess his weird whispering doesn't count as conversation since he's not speaking that loud, or to me. Just before we started on this day, he'd said, "The Lord is always looking over your shoulder when you dig a grave." Is that who he's talking to? Maybe he's whispering prayers. Just then, I hear a voice from above. "Hey!" A raven-haired woman with spindly legs stands above us, waving a brown bag at J. David. You forgot your lunch again. Without a word or change in expression, he climbs out and the lady kisses him smack on the lips, dirty sweat and all. A quick scan of rings confirms she is his wife. Odd not, J. David has a wife. Just goes to show, women can love anything. They step away together and disappear beyond a ridge, her jabbering away as if she'd married the best guy in the world. He don't get my vote for best anything, I yell to the sky and turn to finish the job alone. Quickly, I fall back into the rhythm of this mindless work. Funny thing, though, this mind has no desire to be benched, and the dig thrust cadence seems to ignite my thoughts something fierce. Who's it for? I speak aloud and then hush up as if J. David caught me talking. Who's it for? I think again, wondering about the future occupant of this hole of mine. I hope it's an old fart, someone who's lived a long, maybe even crappy life, and for whom death seems deserving. But a memory plays at the fringes of my mind, and I recall a news story I heard just a few days ago about a young senator who lost a child. The family had gone camping, and an accident happened, as they tend to do, leaving the parents to return home without their 6-year-old son. Oh, please. I look around as if assessing the dirty, darkening accommodations. Not that kid. Not any kid. Something rises in me then, a panic that disrupts the rhythm and sets me back a step. Not at speaking aloud in J. David's absence, but at realizing the body meant for this hole could most certainly be a child's. No, no, no! I scratch my way out of the hip-deep hole and pace. Death, this grave, this landscape for the deceased, seems like no place for a young'un. I think of Remy, my own boy, who must be 11 or 12 by now. His father is very much alive, but I might as well be dead for all the impact I've had on his upbringing. I sit on the rim of the grave, cross-legged, and look down upon the dark earth. As my breathing levels out, I inhale the loss around me, ignoring the stinging tears that overflow onto my cheeks. No, we cannot use a backhoe to prepare such a sacred spot. Every measure of dirt and rock should be felt, carried, cradled to make way for a child. For anyone, I guess, loved or unloved, missed or already forgotten. This earth has invaded me, propelling my thoughts beyond the bounds of my worth. I have been shallow, am shallow. I do not care. Yet, I survey the landscape of Morgan Meadows, allowing the inhabitants beneath the blanket of grass, headstones, and flowers remind me we all have an expiration date. What is my life but a waste of 37 years? Could it be more? Could I be more than what I have been? I shake my head, wondering why this silent place is speaking to me so loudly, when all my daddy's prayers haven't inspired me to be the better man he longed for. I wipe my eyes, lower myself into the earth once more, and take up my shovel. Dig thrust, dig thrust. This place is dangerous, leaving a man alone with his thoughts. I'm digging for that boy now, maybe even for my boy. Digging for the living as well as the dead. Digging for my life. Could I be more? The earth says so. My sweat and tears say so. When I finish this hole, with or without J. David, I will make a plan. One that doesn't involve driving a getaway car or catching a beer with another felon over hushed tones at some dive bar. Dig thrust, dig thrust. I thank the deepening hole and the dark earth around me. Yes, I can be a better man, will be a better man. They may not be ghosts, but perhaps the dead do speak, whether spirit or soul, that part of man responsible for life, that thing that leaves the body in death fills this landscape. For whose thoughts are these? I dig on, content now because this resting place for the dead has inspired me to live. Thank you for listening to the short, and I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Please know that God loves you, and when you're ready to talk, He's ready to listen. God bless you.